Hi there, I'm Chris from ToT, and right now I'm ready to explain in detail our little gem, TBA Automatic Bot. Our simplest, almost completely automated tool, as you can see in this example, is made up of just a few simple lines. The indicator lines, the stop loss lines, and the various take profit levels. Below, we can see the official backtest data used directly by TradingView. Here we have a list of our cryptocurrencies on which we usually test our bot. Let's move straight to the settings without further ado. We can enable two parameters that we can use in our configuration. First, the factor and length parameters, and second, the safe parameter, all of which we can utilize to directly adjust the resulting behavior. For our personal backtest, then we have below, please find a list of our supported cryptocurrency assets on which this trading indicator has been rigorously tested. These cryptos, which undergo careful reviews, are updated every 6 months. This list is refreshed biannually to ensure that it remains accurate, relevant, and up to date with the latest market developments. Cryptocurrencies that are no longer effective are automatically removed from circulation, whereas only those that remain effective are then retained for use. In this case, for example, we are working on Blur USDT 4-hour. We applied a data range filtering to perform the backtest. We're using this type of backtest, since it is quite complex, for almost 2 years, diligently improving our processes to achieve more reliable results. We recommend using at least a 2-year backtest period when analyzing 4-hour charts, otherwise, result reliability significantly degrades. If we worked exclusively on the 1-hour time frame, a single year's backtesting data would have been sufficient, so we simply loaded the complete 1-year data set. Blur USDT 4-hour mode, pressed OK to confirm selection, and as you can see in the chart, we already have the 4-hour time frame. All the different entry points that are defined. For example, here we have the short with its various take profits in our settings. We can configure parameters to simulate various scenarios. For instance, starting with an initial capital of $1,000 at 15% per position. Here we leave a 0.03% commission, which is more or less the standard commission usually applied in most transactions and within related industry practices. Then here we have the complete and comprehensive set of backtest data that begins on precisely January 1, 2019, and at 24%, we closed with 33% without leverage. This is a no leverage position. 51 total trades. 80% of them are profitable with a profit factor of 2%. Point 6, we can try moving on. For example, let's see how CHR has performed so far. We select CHR 4 hours. Let's check CHR. With our parameters, CHR has actually had a 6% loss over the past 2 years. So it's a coin we might consider dropping, even though the latest trades have mostly gone fairly well, given our strategy to optimize portfolio holdings while managing risk and evaluating future viability. We could try, however cautiously, verifying that the safe trade box has been checked and is functioning correctly before we proceed with any dealings. Maybe we can actually manage to secure a modest profit, since we've at least marginally cut down our overall losses this time. Let's move on. Try just trading another cryptocurrency next. For example, here we have COMP. Let's see COMP. It turns out it's still not included in our list, so let's skip it for now and try just another one instead. Let's try with CoT instead, still using 3 discrete frames overall and allocating a total duration of 4 hours. Let's see what happens with CoT. Over the past 2 years, we have a 10.6% gain, 68%, so we already have 2. These cryptocurrencies have collectively returned nearly 40% overall for us, in stark contrast to the long coin that lost just 6%. If over the past 2 years we had enabled precise trading signals on those 3 cryptocurrencies, we still would have realized a substantial profit anyway. No need to give any further explanation. This is simply for backtesting. You can easily remove it to have a cleaner, streamlined implementation if desired. We would like to use all the data from every year, but obviously we cannot go too far back in time. For example, in this analysis, we have decided to begin our evaluation with records starting in 2022. Because investment strategies are recalculated on a semi-annual to annual basis, there's very little point in conducting overly deep backtests that extend far beyond necessary historical data periods. Anyway, even if we start measuring from early 2022, we would still have recorded a 6% gain. If we honestly want, we can simply, instead of configuring any parameters manually without alteration, simply leave all strategy settings at their default values as provided by the system and then proceed to run a backtest, just as we like. For instance, in this case, we see a 21% gain with the standard parameters because the parameters are extremely small. You can observe that there is a continuous inflow and outflow of signals, resulting in an ongoing uninterrupted exchange of signal data over time. If we activated this bot with all alerts on these signals, we'd really have. We receive tons of daily signals each day.